Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. I'm Noam. Thank you for the build-up. I hope that I'm going to live up to it correctly. So a little bit about me. I have over 20 years of modernizing hundreds of enterprise applications. I work a lot with data applications, CRUD and whatever. I'm a coder, I'm a full-stack developer, I'm a mentor. I'm a speaker, as you can see, I can speak, and I can also contribute to open source, which I do quite a lot. Most importantly, I'm lazy. Okay, I consider laziness a virtue, and if I wasn't lazy, I wouldn't get anywhere. And I'm also error-prone, so I need tools to protect me. And these kind of things, these kind of traits, kind of guide everything that I do with software. So just a few words about Remalt, just to get it off my chest. Remalt is a full-stack library that you can use with any front-end and any back-end. It has an ORM, a CRUD API, type-safe API, and a lot of cool things with a single source of truth. If you want to read about it, find our website, our videos, or come to my talk tomorrow at Node.lv, which is going to be fun. So I came to this problem as I was writing a demo application for Remalt. I wanted to show how we can create, what I think at least, is a nice-looking grid using ReactNext that has server-side sorting and has filtering and all sorts of cool features that someone wants to do. And this is all server-side render, server-side paging, sorting, filtering, whatever, which was pretty good, the virtues of Remalt. But then it came to the following problem. Or actually, let's do this with the slides. So then I came up with a new requirement. I wanted the user to be able to agree before I'm doing a long operation or a complicated operation. Okay, let me show you what I mean. If I check a few tasks and I change, yeah, you can see everything, okay, cool. And I change the priority to low, or if I change them from a to-do to in progress, or anything else, that's great, it works, but I want the user to be able to, first of all, agree if they want to do it or not. Okay, so that's the spec, and I'm hoping that continues great. So, obviously I needed to use a dialog. Okay, and how many of you write modals or dialogs in your React app? Perfect, great. How many of you like it? Okay, great. That's the sentiment that I have. So let's create a dialog in the way that dialogs were supposed to interact with React. Now, I'm not a very good React developer, so you'll have to give me some leading room or whatever that's called. So I'm going to go to the floating bar component, and this is the code. Don't worry, you don't need to understand all of it, but I'm going to add a question component. And my question component, first of all, has a question. Something like, are you sure you want to update tasks? Okay, great. Then it has the open and set open states that we do for every dialog, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to add a const open, as you can see, lazy and error-prone, set open, false, great. Let's go back to our modal. So open and open changed. Great. And the last thing I need to do is what happens when the user says yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We actually want them to call this update task function. So I'm going to copy it here. Great. I'm going to say here set open true. Okay, so when the user clicks on the update, it will set the state open for my model. And I'll call this function actually update. And as you can see, I'm not enjoying this. Also, we need to accept a parameter, so let's go ahead and add a parameter. What to update? And it's going to be a partial of task. Great. Really hate this. And here I'm going to say what to update with the set. And over here, the set should be what to update with a colon. Great. So all we need to do is call it here, actually update. Okay? Like this. Yay. Cool. So let's see that it works. I'm going to change something. I'm going to get a nice little dialog. I'm going to say yes, and it's going to apply the change. I don't know if you enjoyed that. I did not. So what's wrong with this approach? First of all, it's a lot of code, and I'm way too lazy to write that much code. It's hard to follow. When you want to check the flow, he clicks the button, a state has changed, what happens now? We have a simple question in front of us, but we have to run over the entire code to figure out what's going on. And as I said, I'm error prone, and as you've seen, I'm error prone, so it's not really fun to write, and it's even harder to maintain. And it doesn't communicate the if nature of the question. If the user agrees to perform the update, perform the update. That's the logic that we're trying to implement. So is there another way? Hopefully there is, otherwise, why would I be here? So I started looking at common APIs that exist, and this one is, I think, familiar for everyone. It's the API of the browser that asks confirm. So of course, it's bad practice to use it because it's ugly and you have no control over it, but it does communicate well the flow of the code. And then I came to thinking, well, if we're calling the server to ask a question, we would write something like this, which is also a lot better than what we have before. So can I await my dialog? So let me show you what I think, or the way I think it should be done. By the way, credit to Gil, this all started with a WhatsApp chat we've done 6 months ago, so this is all based on that. So what I'm going to do next is what a developer loves to do, which is undo everything. Great. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say here, const question equals use question. And then I'll adjust my code. I'll say async. And I'll say, well, if await question, and the question is, are you sure you want to update tasks length? And it should be rows and not tasks. As I said, error prone. And that's it. Okay? Let's check the behavior. So I'm going to say to do. Yes. I think that's the way we should code. I don't see any reason to do it any other way. And actually, you know, all of you are probably doing that today. How many of you use Toaster? Okay. And you do toaster.show. You don't add an element and a state and start to manage that. So just take it a little bit further. And the fun thing about it is that it can be very, very easy to do. So let me go ahead and show you a simpler demo. I'm going to go ahead over here, and I'm going to add a button. And I'm going to say click me. And it's onClick going to run the click function. As I said, error prone, that's who we are. Great. And we see the button over here. So just like we've done the use dialog, let's visit the code of use dialog and use question and see what it does. When we look at the code of use questions, all it does is a use dialog, okay, and returns a function that accepts a question as a parameter, and then simply renders this React code. Okay, so there's no black magic, there's no million lines of code. Very simple arrow functions that accepts a render function. And the fun part about it is that this is the default value if the user just exited the dialog. And it accepts a resolve parameter that we use in the click to determine when the user has said yes. Okay, so if I want to create my own custom dialog for this specific use case just now, all I need to do is say here const dialog use dialog. And then on the click, I can say dialog resolve, and then say div h1 question. Let's see how that works. Okay, simple HTML is rendered, and then I can add here a button. Yes, that's onClick. onClick going to call resolve true, and now I can use it in an if statement. Okay? So I can say if await this, then, I don't know, alert 1, 2, 3. Great. Let's see that it runs. Yay. And we've got our alert. Okay, so I invite you to explore this way of writing by awaiting dialogues. I do that all the time. I have my dialogues defined in code, and a lot less with TS6 definitions, mostly about sending code that I can easily refactor and easily work with. I await it. For example, if I want to create a form, I just say, hey, use form, show form with name, password, and sign in, and that's it. 3 lines of code, and I have my entire UI working. It's also a great abstraction, because if sometimes we decide that the dialogue is a vocal question that someone will ask the user, I don't have to go and touch my entire code base, because there's a single place where the dialogue is defined, what we call the dialogue context. Okay? Which is not that complicated, about 100 lines of code, using standard React context, and has a lot of fun. So, that's me. That was me. You can go here to this QR and visit our Remalt Dev website. This demonstration is part of our example apps. Go there and search for shed CN React table demo. And the code is there. You can take it, copy paste those 100 lines of code into your code, and you can start awaiting dialogues tomorrow. Thank you very much.